I mean, the fact that I don't even have an idea for an intro kinda says a lot how my opinion is about the Gaslight District. But first of all, hello my little dronies. This is going to be somewhat of a different video. It's probably going to be really short, like I'm hoping I'm getting over 5 minutes. Maybe I'm talking a bit off topic and I'll get there. But like, I really didn't want to make a trailer analysis on the Gaslight District. They don't like this in general, but because there wasn't much to theorize on, because you need something to base theories off, and just a trailer on something new isn't enough. So I thought maybe I'm theorizing about what the show could be about based on what we see in the trailers, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to have the trailer play in the background for this duration of this video, so you can form your own opinions. But first of all, before I get into theorizing, I want to say my opinions, which I have a very mixed bag. Like, on my voice you hear I'm totally not really excited. Like, when the last new show came out, Digital Circus, it had lots of hype behind it, and after the first episode came out, it showed lots of promises for a good plot and interesting stuff to happen. But the episodic nature of it just ruined like everything. Of course, they're like character arcs, but honestly, I don't care if nothing greater happens there. But this isn't about Digital Circus, this is about Gaslight District, which, first of all, the name, I don't know if it's just my culture, but I don't like the name at all. But seeing the design of like the green lighting, I see where it's inspired from, but the art style, everything looks like it's dead, decaying, or shouldn't be alive in the first place. And I hope very much it's going to be a Murder Drones type show, like a bit more serious, not episodic in nature, or at least have some form of plot going on, because Digital Circus was very safe, was very easy to go in, and didn't need much investment by the viewer. But by Murder Drones, the viewer had to be interested, had to follow the plot and like the characters to keep watching. And based on the style of the trailer, I feel like they're going to try a mix out of both of them, which, based on the popularity of Digital Circus and the quality of Murder Drones, maybe if you combine these two things together, you can make a really great show. But I'm kinda on a mixed bag. A good sign is that while watching the trailer, you can always see the people getting injured, and instead of spitting blood or oil, in this case it's a purple fluid, which shows they want to go into some serious topics. Like the main character even looks like a corpse of a mummy. Hey, Future Raptor here. I'm going to interrupt my past self right now. I'm going to do the later bit again, but I explain later then. Right now, if I'm on the topic of the design of the main character, I would like to mention something. Glitch, who at your design team made this design? Like, don't get me wrong, I like the design and it's cool. But I know my fandom, like Digital Circus and Murder Drones. Maybe I can find some examples on Pinterest if I look hard enough that are showable to YouTube. But those artists, this fandom, did a lot more with a lot less to show. And I mean, she's literally just wearing gloves and boots and nothing else. Like, I see in the trailer she later becomes more clothes. But who at management decided this was a good idea for this fandom? Jesus Christ. But if Future Raptor is already talking, I'm just completely going to cut out my past self, because I was comparing Digital Circus and Murder Drones for way too long and had way too long of a rant. But basically, or you could shorten the entire part down by saying Digital Circus and Murder Drones and all of Glitch in general, even though they are written by different writers every time, like Liam Vickers for Murder Drones, Goose works for Digital Circus, and I actually right now forgot who is making Gaslight District. I'm very professional at my job. But the overall Glitch theme is existential horror, which every show tackles in their own way. Murder Drones kinda did of eldritch horror beings that are beyond your comprehension, and Digital Circus did it in we are trapped in the Matrix sort of style. But you can't have this main theme, this main topic, without acknowledging it at all. In Murder Drones, we see a bunch of characters actually interact with their eldritch horror and their fears and stuff, and Digital Circus has Pomni flipping out, but like, it's played all off as a joke. Like, there wasn't anything serious in Digital Circus yet, except those few moments where characters talk with one another, but this is unimportant to the plot overall because everything random happens. But with Gaslight District, I really think this show needs to be a show that has not just random stuff happen, but random stuff happen because of something. And in the trailer you can kind of realize the main character wants to know where they are from. So yet again, it's existential horror, which maybe, if I'm already guessing, my first theory, they are created from some form of biological intelligence or some form of biological enhanced creature that was created by something, and this is going to be the big revelation in the end. But I need to care for this big revelation. Like, Digital Circus could completely go into the Matrix kind of style, but I wouldn't care in the slightest because there was no build up for actually that they are scared of what is happening, and I really think this show could expand probably on that. But now to my two theories in which way the show could either go. The first one is a bit more unlikely, but maybe a mafia gang type of style, where the main characters come all together and fight some form of mafia to find out who they are or what is holding them back. Maybe the mafia is kind of the leader in this underground area and holding everyone hostage from the truth through some form of oppression, maybe a giant entity or something. I could very much think of that. For example, we see a menacing shot of this bread-like creature, which later becomes the main cast. So I think this is something like the Decepticons, who you think at first there's going to be a villain and just change it to be one of the protagonists. And those random zombie-like creatures are kind of like, I don't have a comparison for Digital Circus, but Monodrones. Would it be the worker drones, just random side characters that can be slaughtered by the mass without consequences for the plot? And basically they're going to be killed en masse and be not important to the characters, but as soon as someone or someone else dies, they're going to be a big deal, while they just slaughtered thousands of them. So like a bit of a double standard, but that we are used to by Glitch just shows. But the second and more likely thing what it could be, I think this is some form of road trip. Like, at first the main character is going to work at a butcher shop, where the butcher from the trailer is probably her dad or her uncle or something. And she finds something, maybe it's the egg from the trailer which she's holding, and also this, or maybe it's a stone, or maybe that's just the MacGuffin for a one-off episode. But she's going to find something that makes her question the reality of herself, and she wants to go on a road trip and takes everyone with her. And I think the spread entity is some form of graveyard, like takes the remains of the things that the butcher chops up and eats them, and he goes with on the trip. And along on side on the trip we have like one-off adventures until they reach the big point at the end where they have the MacGuffin to bring to, and maybe they realize they were some form of real-lived entities, and actually everyone in the world is dead and they're the only thing alive, something like that. There's also this melting guy in the beginning, which in the trailer snipes one of the nameless, I just call them Husk now, one of the nameless husks, and kills them. I'm going to say he at first tries to stop them in the first episode, but in the end of the episode is going to join along with the gang. He is some form of detective guy, basic, and I would say this is a villain of the week kind of story, but as we all know, Murderons was about to be something similar like that. But Glitch is still an indie animation show, even though it makes millions upon millions of views. I still think they don't have the budget, or the writer don't want to continue the story for so long that they have filler episodes where characters appear just for one day and they go on with the road trip. But if I have to compare it to Murderons so that you show it, or like also Digital Circus, that there's always a main thread in every episode, like the Sludge from Digital Circus, Doll from Murderons. I also know all the other shows from Glitch exist, but I just mentioned the most popular ones because I don't know if you know something like Meta Runner or Sunshine Purpose, I'm stupid, but you know what I mean, that not everyone knows the characters in and out like the other shows. And basically this is all my predictions for what Gaslight District is going to be. Like, I'm pretty confident with what I'm saying. If I'm not guessing the plot right, at least I'm thinking which way it's going to go. I have some form of plan, like my predictions always has been kinda right. Maybe a bit off topic, but always in the right direction. And definitely there's going to be like a big reveal, like the fact in Murderons that there was Tessin, like that Tessa was all along dead, and Sin was actually under the suit. Digital Circus is probably going to have again like this Matrix reveal, or that Kane is actually a human instead of an AI, or one of the main cast is AI, but Gooseworks that isn't the case. And for Gaslight District it's going to be something, I don't know, maybe the big reveal that everything is already dead and they're the last things alive happens actually in the middle of the show, or like before the finale, and maybe one of the characters, the detective guy maybe, turns evil and tries to end it all so that nothing is alive anymore because it's better that way, and the character have to try to convince them. Like some big revelation about themselves, which is going to turn one of the guys evil. Doesn't have to be from the main cast, just maybe one that is already evil, has changed their goals, and this is the main threat of the entire universe basically. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my random rants. I got some pretty good time out of it, and based on how well this video is doing, I'm thinking of covering more Gaslight District in the future. Depends also how much content the show actually gives, because like, as I said in Digital Circus, I'm really crapping down on the show right now, but it doesn't have much content to cover or to talk about because every episode doesn't matter to the next episode. But I feel like Gaslight District, with his almost episodic nature but having a continuous plot, would give me something to talk about if you are interested, and if the first episode comes out and it actually looks good to me. I'm maybe making a OC for it. We have to wait and see, but like, I hope every one of you has a great day, and remember,
Ha ha ha!